let's talk about the pros and cons of renting versus owning a home. So of course, many people know that owning is overall better for most people, but in the recent months with the interest rates rising, we've had a lot of people with a different tune and a different argument of, well, the rates are higher, so how much I would be spending for a monthly payment is dramatically higher. So my quality of life is going to be significantly better as a renter, and it's better for me to wait until the rates drop. But the reality is that's not exactly the best option for you, and here's why. So let's talk about, first off, the pro of being a renter, and it's pretty obvious. It's the flexibility that comes with renting. As a renter, you can pick up and go wherever you'd like to. You can go from one city to a different state, different part of the country, or even out of the country. There is that freedom. Now, the freedom is short-sighted because the freedom that you get as a homeowner is dramatically bigger, but we'll get into that. So first, let's talk about the biggest pro, the biggest incentive and goal from any homeowner, and that's obviously wealth creation. So as a homeowner, there are dramatically more wealthier people versus renters. And when you really look at the gap, the average renter has a net worth of about $6,300. And the average homeowner has a net worth of about $255,000. So that's about a 40x difference. And the reason being are, one, there's a few reasons here. The first one is, of course, that when you have a mortgage, a fixed rate mortgage, your mortgage stays the same. Whereas with a renter, your rents are constantly going up. Every year, roughly, rents typically go up from anywhere from $50 on an average to about $200. In many places right now, we're seeing about $200 increases as we go. And you can't really get ahead in that regard as a renter. Whereas, again, as a homeowner, you lock in a rate and that's your rate. If you never touch it, never refinance, and if you refinance, it's most likely going to go down. But for the most part, that's what you get. So now the second incentive here for the homeowner side is that you get price appreciation. So generally speaking, as time goes on, it's the buy and hold, right? Hold it and wait for your net income, your net worth, the value of your home to rise. So generally, and this all depends on where you live geographically, state, region, down to city, generally speaking, your home value is going to rise anywhere from about 3 to 5% on the low. And in some cities, some states, it can rise anywhere from 9 to 12%. So on an average, let's just call it 5 to 6, right? That's your net worth rising every single year, because as your home appreciates, you now have equity in your home. So your equity is growing year over year. And now this leads to the next part, is that as you're paying your monthly payments, you're actually paying down your principal, your balance. So the more you pay your monthly mortgage, let's say you're paying a substantial amount more than you need to each month for your first couple of years that you've owned the property, or let's say you've owned it for a period of 5 or 10 years, you of course have equity purely based out of the fact that you're paying down your principal. So your net worth is increasing simply by that. Now the last incentive here is really the tax incentives that you get as a homeowner, because the government, they love it when people become homeowners and have a fixed monthly mortgage, because the government has so much debt. It's beneficial for them, for you to have a fixed rate mortgage. So that is continuously a symbiotic relationship here from homeowner to the government. And that's why we get tax incentives as homeowners. So when we talk about flexibility, since that's really the key here, and I know that most people want flexibility in their lives in some degree, whether it's the ability to move and be about, or have freedom to travel, vacation, or financial freedom. Flexibility is short-sighted with renting because yes, you're going to be paying less, and most likely with your rent, depending on where you are. Sometimes if you're in New York City, it's obviously much higher, but the flexibility that comes with renting, yes, you can pick up and go, but it doesn't mean that you can really save up and be able to afford those big vacations and consistently do those types of things. Whereas as a homeowner, your net worth is increasing over time, and having a higher net worth allows you to have freedoms, financial freedom in your life. And that in turn, of course, leads to more freedom to move about, to actually travel and consistently do that with your family. So of course, there is much more freedom and flexibility that comes with homeownership versus renting. And now the last thing we're going to talk about is really all about retirement. Retirement is the goal for everybody. Nobody wants to work until they're 90, and it's just obviously not reasonable. So retirement is clearly very difficult if your net worth is going to average $6,300, whereas the longer you own a home, the higher your net worth is. And that's money that you will be able to tap into when you truly need it. And of course, the more property you own, most likely the more net worth you have. I know a lot of people that are close friends of mine that are real estate investors, whether they invest in single family property, small multifamily property, anywhere from 2 to 4 family, or the larger ones, whether they're 5 to 9, or even I know some people that own 30 units or larger, and those ones clearly appreciate higher. The more you go, the higher the appreciation is going to be. So really think about that and what that can lead you to for your older years, and really start to plan for yourself, because again, the sooner you buy, the sooner you start to build up your net worth. And that's what we're really talking about here. Hopefully that helps you.